NEWS.MC on Monaco Info is brought to you by Monaco Legend Properties. Our exclusive interview with the personalities making the Principality.
My name is Laurence Jenkell, and I'm a French artist, born in the middle of France, and I've been now living in Cannes and Monaco as well, and I'm very happy to be here, of course. I'm a self-taught artist, female artist. I'm now Chevalier de l'Ordre des Arts and des Lettres. So I have that kind of recognition worldwide, but which was not so obvious at first, because when I first started, I used to really be keen on doing things, but that was just for myself. And I never imagined at one stage I would become an artist full-time, because I believe that to become an artist, to be an artist, you need to really spend a lot of time making your arts and the evolution of it. Yeah, I first started like 30 years ago. Sounds so long time ago, but this is it. I was enjoying my job, you know, having really great fun working with communication, and suddenly got my two daughters and I stopped working. But in my mind, I couldn't just look after my kids, so I had to do something with my hands, with my mind, and I started decorating the house. And that's how it first started, you know, with the approach of different mediums like oil, acrylic, and so on. And then when my daughters were 2 and 4, I remember they were eating so many candies, so many sweets, and myself, when I was a child, I was not allowed to. So this is how it first started, really, the beginning of my career. So I borrowed the bonbons from them, took them down in my studio, because I was very lucky. I had a huge studio, like 300 square meters in the villa, and so I could just explore any field with art. And so I was making, putting the bonbon in the oven. So then it became like the sugar was melting and it was covering the canvas, making tableau piège. You know, it's like you couldn't really see, but I was putting all kind of stuff inside my compositions. So the sugar was with resin, because I used to put resin, epoxy resin, and that was really good fun. So that's how I started. And suddenly I got the idea of covering those compositions with plexiglass, transparent plexiglass. That was another challenge. And of course, after a couple of years, I had a lot of pieces, you know, of plexiglass in the studio. So I had two options: either try to recycle the material or just throw it away. And as I'm self-taught, as I really like, you know, just trying to do things you don't expect, really. So I started putting that little piece of plexiglass in the oven. And I had the oven, you know, the one we have in the kitchen, because I was also doing some porcelains and things in that oven. So I was putting the plexiglass, and after a little while, I realized that it was melting, and when I, you know, removed it from the oven, I could just play with it. And without even thinking of making a bonbon, I had a twist on my left, a twist on the right side. I said, wow, this is a bonbon. So I was so proud of myself, and I could feel something would happen. I just had to get better with the material, because it was just so not nice at all, with bubbles, black and so on. But, you know, something was just the beginning of a new story. And actually, those little ones I was making at the time, they are just very similar to the one I experience now. Same style, I would say, and this is why I ended up now, especially in Monaco. I first started making some workshops, make your own bonbon, and I explained to people who come and visit me, with a group of people, like 8 people maximum, and I teach them how to make the bonbon exactly the same way I first made it at that time. So putting that transparent plexiglass in the oven and then coming out with a bonbon. We're having fun together with the people who are interested in my art at those workshops, and then I just give them some paint, special paint, so that they do the decor. I give them gloves, they put it in the oven, they remove it, and I make the bonbon myself in front of them, and then they go back home with a little bonbon collector and give a certificate, authenticity certificate, Jenkell Studio. So that's the idea, but exactly same as when I first started. I was very proud of myself, to tell you the truth. But you know, the father of my kids, when I went up, you know, upstairs and said, "Well, I found something amazing. This is a bonbon. It's gonna." Well, I wouldn't think it would make me famous at all. But you know, I was very proud making that kind of shape. You know, I was working with real bonbon for quite a while, and suddenly I made a bonbon made of plexiglass, just coming out of the blue, just like that. So he thought it was ridiculous and that nobody would ever buy any candy. And I said, "You may be right, but I'll try it." I had to go deeper because, of course, you know, those very few ones I was making, the few, it was just a try, really. But I could feel I had to get better, dump really the material and see how I could figure it. But that was something very special. People at the very beginning, they quite liked it. I was my first, you know, fan, really, and I'm still, I guess, the first. Yeah, I love them all. There's not one I say, well, I prefer that one. No, it's not true. I really love them all, and especially, you know, I sign always Jenkell. Jenkell is the name of my two daughters, so it means a lot as well to me. So the bonbon is something very incredible, because when I first started trying to get a gallery to represent my art, then they liked it, but you know, they wouldn't really think possibly it would go very far. Maybe at the very beginning they thought it was like decoration, because it's true, it's nice, it's a nice shape, glossy with the plexiglass, the nice colors, but the thing is, they wouldn't imagine how far it could go, and I had such a motivation, and I was very lucky because one of my very first galleries was Opera Gallery, and we first started together. And I remember at the very beginning, you know, possibly they would put them, you know, on the floor, but the presentation was not the same as it is now, of course, and it was different, but there was something. And thank you to those galleries who believed in me and who made who I am now, actually. I have quite a few collectors as well here in Monaco, because you know, this is what happens. You know, you see them, and it's such a tiny place as well. And the shape is you recognize the bonbon. You've seen it once. You keep it in your mind, and of course it brings back memories. Everybody experiences a bonbon. The sugar is actually the first taste a baby would experience. Internationally, the bonbon is somewhere. So no matter the education, no matter the religion, no matter nothing, actually, the bonbon means a lot to anyone. Either you like it or you don't like it, but there's something happening in your mind. I always wondered really when it first started, really the bonbon. So I had, you know, made a few research, and from centuries, you know, the bonbon is still a different shape. And even my first trip to China, I remember, like 20 years ago, I felt really amazed seeing in those supermarkets it's so many kinds of bonbons. So actually, I remember at that time, this is when I first started the compositions. I remember I took a lot, I bought a lot, and I actually had too much luggage, of course. So I paid an incredible, you know, amount just for nothing, because bonbon doesn't cost a lot. The bonbon you eat, and so I was completely amazed. The bonbon is everywhere. So many shapes, so many things. Something everybody experiences worldwide, no matter the age, no matter the education, no matter the religion, as I said. My problem is, you know, I think it's a kind of generosity, and I think all artists should be generous. Any cause will reach me, really, so I can feel something, and I wish I could help all of them. But at some stage, it's true that I did a lot, and I will carry on doing a lot, I'm sure. But, you know, it's difficult to say, no, I cannot give, because if you can, you should do it, really, no matter how big is the artwork. Because I remember, like 10 or 15 years ago, I gave artworks that were just so much valuable, like 135,000 or 150,000 euros. But I'm very pleased I did it at the time. But now, you know, time has changed as well. So I still give regularly, but, you know, smaller pieces. And also maybe people, you know, they wouldn't buy that big artworks. I don't know. And there are too many associations nowadays, and too many causes, and too many people who suffer in the world. I'm happy. I probably helped a lot of people, and I hope I carry on a long time. I remember that was just after COVID. That was the first time we had the Red Cross ball next to the casino. And that was an experience, that one, because I made that big one, the one which is in the gardens of the Red Cross. So this is the shape of the mask. I guess you noticed that. So that's a big bonbon 2 meter, and I made it exactly the same way of the little mask we used to wear for so many months and years, and hoping we don't have that again. But anyway, the little mask, I had an order for 500 pieces, and they are all unique pieces. Just putting some kind of resin, putting the white, and then making the red thing. And then of course we had that bank, the CMB, Monsieur Grosoli, who sponsored the event. So that was really, really incredible when you see, you know, those 500 boxes with 500 masks, and all of them were given to people who were attending the gala. 500 people. I was there right after COVID, and that was the very first time we couldn't even shake hands. We were all wearing the mask, and you know, with Monseigneur, so we just made a picture, and that was it. And you know, we just couldn't even talk to each other really, because everybody was sitting at the table, and that's it. And then we experienced the concert, which was amazing. So very different from the ones we known before and the ones we have now. But that was a very special charity auction, that one. G20 in Cannes was something incredible. And again, at that time I was with Opera Gallery. We had the big show. It took me like 2 years to also prepare the negotiations with the mayor of Cannes. At the time it was Bernard Brochant, to convince him to have such an exhibition in his city. And nobody knew that we would have the G20 in Cannes. So I just wanted to make an exhibition in my home city at the time, 2 meters, and like 100 sculptures on the croisette and within the city. So of course there were all the countries for G20. Countries were already arranged, but 6 months before it all started, I just, you know, made it especially for G20, you know, the way we settled it and with the places on the croisette. And that was the top of the top exhibition, 6 months. And also additional, la cerise sur le gâteau, so the cherry on the cake, was that I went to Paris, especially, you know, Monsieur Brochant, the mayor. He said, no way, you cannot leave it for the G20. You have to remove it. The exhibition, end of the show, is end of October. I said, come on, we have G20 in the city. We have to stay a bit longer, because that was, I think, 3rd and 4th of November. We wanted to stay longer on the croisette. And he said, I cannot decide. You know, the decision will be made in l'Élysée. So in Paris, I was very lucky, because I met Laurence Jenkell, that you know. He used to be the ambassador, the French ambassador here in Monaco, and we agreed on, you know, he convinced Nicolas Sarkozy to just actually buy 20, well, more than 20, because they were all the countries, 20 countries, plus the 4 guest countries, plus you know, some kind of Greenpeace association, FMI, and so on, who also got some bonbon of mine. So all of them, somewhere in the world, either in the office, private office, home, or wherever, they have a little bonbon 40 centimeter with the color of the flag of their country. So that was something very, very special. And also inside the Palais des Festivals, I had all those journalists who were, of course, attending conferences and waiting for, you know, the results. I had on display 20 sculptures, smaller sizes, 80 centimeter, that were inside the Palais des Festivals. So with those 3,800 journalists attending, and having nothing to do during the day except filming, making, you know, interviews and so on. So I had like 38 interviews from all over the world. So of course it helped a little bit in my career, I guess. Of course I did not study in Monaco, so I was abroad. I was either in London or Germany a little bit. So yeah, that was probably like 26, 28, something like that. So that was rather late. I did like it really, even at the first time, and I didn't have the vision to just, you know, invest in Monaco, start investing, because prices were just very reasonable at the time. I wasn't even an artist actually, and not even a woman either. This is the principality, so you have at the time, of course, Prince Régnier and Grâce de Monaco, and this castle, and you just get the touristic idea, and also, of course, there were quite a few nice restaurants also at the time, and of course I remember the Jimmy's and all those places, because it was already the place to be, the place to party, also to to gamble, and not monuments but the Hôtel de Paris, the Place de Paris, just like any tourist who would come and visit today, was already at the time so beautiful, magical. Of course, maybe not as constructed, not that many buildings, but still there were already quite a few, and you could think that there would be more and more. But again, at the time I did not invest, unfortunately. One of my very first gallery was in Monaco, and of course I was making very different artworks, where that was not figurative at all. It was more like new realism, pop art as well. So I was just looking for my style really. But I had shows in Monaco. Everything is a kind of inspiration really. You just need to give yourself the time to think, to experience it, and I guess everybody's an artist really. It's just that some people, of course, they wouldn't take the time, or they think they're not good at it, they have no artistic skill, but it's not true. Like Matisse, when he was a very old man, he couldn't do any paintings anymore, he couldn't do nothing, but he was cutting those pieces of great colors paper and just giving it to his assistant, making the artwork on his behalf, really. Any person could be an artist, really. Just think positive and say, well, I can make it, and that's it. There's no competition anyway, it's just please yourself first. You do it for yourself, and then, of course, you want to share it. I know what I want, I know what I need, and I'm very happy that, with the company I was with before, with my agent, we just back together in a way, though we are just completely in a separate way, but this is a team. The team will carry on a certain way, and I'm very happy myself to be completely free, to have my name, Jenkell. Jenkell is back, because before, for 4 years, I used to sign Jenk, and Jenk is really something very strong for me. It means a lot, and this is a period of my artistic life which will be even more important, more valuable than the Jenkell one, I suppose, because it's only 4 years. It's an artistic period of mine. So this is why I would like my collectors who trusted me for those 4 years, I want to please them and really hope that they would buy another Jenk, complete their collection. And those collectors who have a Jenkell and never got a Jenk, would be great if they have a Jenk as well, because those artworks, they are something really strong, because they helped me to just rebuild everything, and this is how also really ended up in Monaco. So nothing happens just like this by chance. There's always a reason for everything. And the future, so this will be still a team, different way, but I will have my structure involved here in Monaco. But at any stage, I'm an artist, I'm not a gallery, so I just gave the name gallery, but this is not a gallery, it's just a tiny place, just like an office with a representation of a few of my bonbons and artworks. I want to be with galleries only, because everybody has a job. I'm an artist, of course I do my promotion, I'm very happy to meet with my collectors, but I want galleries worldwide like I used to do and have before. Now Monaco is one step, I'm still around, I will be still around, but I want to carry on developing my career internationally. So that will be, of course, United States. That will be like, Singapore. Many places where I'm already, but, I want to spread over not only the bonbon, because it is the bonbon, but I have other things ready, like DNA artworks, like robots, also twists, because the idea, like in 2017, 2018, I first started making those artworks I really love. They are just very strong, like an elephant, which is completely twisted in the middle of the body, because I want people to be aware of what's going on with elephants. They would be killed for their ivory, they don't have food or they don't have water, which is really terrible. It happens also to human beings. So the twist, I also made a beaten woman with a twist, so the position is incredible. It's strong artworks that people, when they see it, they understand completely the message. I want to raise awareness, use my twist, not only to twist of the bonbon, but use it on its own. Like a coffee machine, we drink coffee a lot, and without thinking, maybe at some stage we don't have that much coffee. I made a fridge, everybody has a fridge, but some people, they don't even eat, so they don't have a fridge though. So having a twist on the fridge means a lot. It's not only the environment and so on, but it means also people suffer not eating properly, and we are in 2024, so this needs to stop. And I think it's nice also to use art to raise awareness, help. And this is all about charity and things as well. It's just help. If art can also be used for that, that's wonderful. It's something we experience, we love it, but try to also help other people. We have many more, and I hope we see each other within a few years, and I give you news of the Jenkell, and I'm sure we'll do a lot more. Just the very beginning of the story and the adventure.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching NEWS.MC, your English rendezvous on Monaco Info. Discover more interviews and stories on our websites, NEWS.MC and MonacoInfo.com. This show was brought to you by Monaco Legend Properties.